going on, NFL fans, Tick Don't Lie watchers? This time we're going over some more wildcard action. The Giants defense, what they did against the Vikings and Kirk Cousins. So let's just get into it. We got to talk about the two defensive tackles first and foremost, Dexter Lawrence and Big Cat Leonard Williams. These guys dominated the entire game from front to back, first quarter to fourth quarter. We're going to watch some really good run stuffs here. Both these guys absorb double teams, okay, and it allows these linebackers to flow to the second level. But 97 and 99, they're not just going to give themselves up. They're going to detach, get in on that play, and make a tackle. And they did this the entire game. Watch 97 here. This is a bananas play. He's trying to get the center's trying to reach him, and for him to go backdoor against outside zone from the backside A gap and get that, technically wide zone from the backside A gap. That's a fantastic play. Here's another one from Dexter Lawrence. You see him absorb this double team, watch his anchor, and watch his ability to extend, rip, and get off that block, make a run stuff. But against the pass, they also dominated as well. These guys, the interior defensive line for this team was dominant in this one. They were putting pressure on Kirk Cousins the entire game. You could see here how Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence, they're both getting doubled here in the pass game. And they're both the guys who are making the play. Dexter Lawrence flushes Kirk Cousins. Leonard Williams gets the quarterback hit. So they're playing off each other. Here's a really good example of that. So Dexter Lawrence is going to try to take a 2-for-1 here. He's going to try to take the guard in the center with him on this twist, and Leonard Williams is going to come free. But Dexter Lawrence just breaks all the way through and gets in on that and disrupts that play. Here's almost the exact same thing. This time it's the opposite. Leonard Williams comes across on the stunt. He wants to take 2-for-1 here and let 97 come free. But again, he just breaks through that and flushes that quarterback out of the pocket. He's got to throw it away. Here's another pass rush, this time from Leonard Williams. You see the hand fighting, little jab step, cross chop and rip. Bam. Makes Kirk Cousins jump and throw that ball before the play was designed for it to get there. Creating that pressure creates miscues in the pass game. So these interior defensive tackles, we're doing this all game. Here's another one, this time from Dexter Lawrence. Watch him here. Watch him just forklift this guy. 65 feet are off the ground. He's getting tossed. Okay. He ends up holding. You got to give Vikings some credit here. Kirk Cousins, this is an example of standing in here against the blitz, knowing he's about to get, hit 36. This is wide open. He knows he's going to get take a shot here from 36. Gets popped, but delivers a strike. It wasn't like it was all bad from the Vikings. And so we'll talk about some of the good things that they were doing. This is a really filthy play here that went for a touchdown. You'll see how the double crossers here influence this weak hook curl defender. And he ends up, because, he's a weak hook curl defender, he needs to take 3 verticals. So he assumes 1, 2, 3, 4. This fourth man is actually the third guy. And he carries him across the field, but the third guy is actually sitting there right on the hash, and he's wide open. That's a filthy design. So the Vikings were throwing some stuff at them. This is another really good design. We're going to get this stack to the top of the screen and watch these receivers. They're both going to take an outside release. And we know that they're playing lock in terms of the coverage on the side. They're not banjoing this. They're not switching this off because both these DBs are playing at such extremely different levels. We know this guy has the point man, and this guy, because he's all the way off, and he's going to go ahead and take the guy who's off the line of scrimmage. But we see, because both these guys release outside, it does just enough to influence the guy in man coverage to jump out there before TJ Hawkinson comes back into the inside. That's a really good play. Here's another phenomenal play. Let's first look at the personnel. Vikings come out in 21 personnel, 2 backs, and 1 tight end. 21 personnel. They also have 2 wide receivers. This ends up being a single wide formation, meaning both receivers are on the same side. There's no wide receiver over here. There's only wide on one side. Now, because they are in base, and because when you get into a single wide, this is a really smart way to get a coverage indicator. And there's two things that could happen. The corner runs all the way over here and tells the quarterback, okay, they're playing man. But if the corner stays on his side against a nub tight end and the linebacker ends up bumping out here on the slot, now we know we are in zone. Okay, so that's a great way to get a little coverage indicator. And watch the detail on this play. It's a play action. So Adam Thielen, he's going to go to show the stock. He's not showing, oh, I'm going out for a passing pattern right now at all, right? So we're selling the run fake. And then when he breaks to the out, he does this little subtle, right? He sees Thielen turn his head. He peeks at him. So then he puts his eyes back on the quarterback because he figures, okay, the ball's going to come out here to the flat, not realizing, oh, it's going to go to the wheel. So a couple things are happening here that makes this really tough to defend for a defense. First of all, they got a wide receiver in the backfield lined up as a back, and they have a back lined up in the near slot as a slot receiver. Okay, so that's already tricky. How are you going to line up? What are you going to match up and do against this? Look, the other thing that makes it tough is we got this is a quads formation, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 receivers on the same side of the field, and this tends to break a lot of rules on defense. And in this case, there is probably an alert that, oh, hey, Justin Jefferson, he's their best player. He's lined up in the backfield. He goes and he releases to the flat. Look at all the attention he has. He has 3 guys. There's 3 guys out here on Justin Jefferson. It leaves the tight end wide open in the back. I mean, I understand this is their best player, but you got to also stay disciplined. So that was a tricky one. That was a tough one. And here's another one, too, where you could just see the influence that Justin Jefferson has on this game plan. We're going to go ahead and get a little what looks like a screen from Justin Jefferson, and 2 guys cover him and no one covers the tight end. Again, the emphasis on defending Justin Jefferson had a big effect on this one. Here's another one that we'll go through, and we'll start talking about now what they did to limit Justin Jefferson in this one. And it's not fancy. It's a bunch of 2 high looks. They're playing cover 4 in this one. And the game was all about tackling Justin Jefferson after he caught the ball. This is a pretty tough one to defend. We are in man coverage, and when we're in man coverage and we get that kind of jet kind of motion at the snap of the ball, this corner has to go fight through and run through all this traffic to get over here. I hate this play. As a defensive guy, I hate this play. And if you look at the ball placement here, sometimes the DB, when he's in this position against this kind of play where he has to run all the way across the field, sometimes he can make a play on it if the quarterback is late or if the quarterback throws it behind the receiver. In this case, look at the ball placement. It's perfect. There's no way Adoree Jackson in this coverage against this play with that ball placement is going to make a pass breakup here. What he does, that's amazing, is he still is able to tackle him when they review this. Justin Jefferson is down. So again, limiting the yak. Okay, he's going to catch it. He's a phenomenal receiver. Let's limit the yards that he gets after the catch. Again, we're just in a pretty standard cover 4 look. Nothing crazy here. We're sitting on the fade. Look at Adoree Jackson's feet. He's feathering and opening up to the fade. He's able to be in that half turn, put his foot on the ground, rally, make a tackle, maybe 1 yard after the catch right there. Here's another example. He's going to play press man. Adoree Jackson's playing press man against Justin Jefferson at the bottom of the screen. And this is not a great rep from Adoree Jackson. Watch him get on his heels. He guesses a little bit, and he has to open the gate. So he's already in a really bad spot. Okay, really bad spot. Luckily, this doesn't go to the fade, and they end up running, this little square in here, short slant. And again, Adoree Jackson just tackles him. He's going to get his catches. Let's just make sure they all end up being for short gains. Here's another example. But Adoree Jackson, he's man on this the entire way. He's keying him. He's never one time is looking at the quarterback. As soon as the ball is snapped, his eyes are on Justin Jefferson the entire time. Puts his foot in the ground, comes up, and tackles this short to gain of the sticks. So Adoree Jackson, while he gave up some catches, he did a fantastic job tackling, which is what defense is all about, in order to give his team a shot. Now, while Adoree Jackson was helping limit those catches from turning into explosive gains, there was another DB who was limiting Justin Jefferson from making catches at all in certain cases. And that's Xavier McKinney here. We're going to play man coverage across the board, single high, but we're getting a double from the safety and the corner on Justin Jefferson on the backside of this. And what happens now, it allows Adoree Jackson to really sit on the fade, watch for the corner routes, and anything that goes inside, he knows Xavier McKinney is going to be there for it. And you see him go in there, break this pass up, end up getting a hand on it, pops up in the air, out into the outstretched hands of his teammate. So that's a fantastic play from Xavier McKinney. Again, we are in cover one with a double on Justin Jefferson. And this is another really good example of Xavier McKinney taking Justin Jefferson away. We are playing, again, cover 4 in this one. When you're cover 4 as the safety, you're responsible for 2 to 1 vertical, meaning if 2 goes vertical, you got to take him regardless of what number 1 does. In this case here, you see Xavier McKinney able to really focus on Justin Jefferson because number 2 stays in the block. So now all Xavier McKinney needs to do is get his eyes on the quarterback and take away any throws to the hash. And you see him just run up that hash like a ladder, wall off Justin Jefferson. Does a fantastic job of having that zone maintenance and that body positioning to take this one away. Okay, so that's really a superb job from Xavier McKinney. He had some really impressive plays on the ball going up against Justin Jefferson. So that's really the tail of the tape. It was mostly interior defensive line making plays the entire game. Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams against the run and rushing the passer. And then after that, while the Vikings were able to get some things going with other players, they just did such a good job. The Giants defense did such a good job limiting Justin Jefferson that, in the end, it didn't really matter. TJ Hawkinson making some plays and these tight ends making some plays. They did such a good job of limiting what the Vikings really wanted to do in terms of targeting Justin Jefferson and running the ball that, Vikings, even if they had other answers, in the end, it wasn't enough. So that's it. That's the Giants defense. I think they did a pretty good job. They look pretty good. A lot of guys were making plays in there. Jalen Smith, Darnay Holmes, Kayvon Thibodeau. Those guys I didn't mention. They also were making some plays in there. It was here and there, so I didn't add it into the breakdown. Those guys look good as well. All right, Tape Don't Lie fans. Any new viewers watching this for the first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button. That's it. We out.